All right, we're live. Just going to get it all set up. So it's no longer switched to private. I don't know why it does that. You know, I select public. Go into the details, visibility. All right, set to public. Maybe it just takes a little while for it to convert. Switch over automatically. Cool, cool. All right. So what do you guys want to focus on? Like, was there any assets you guys are looking at? Do you want to do some technical analysis on? Uh, Bitcoin's still ranging within between the uptrending macro support level on the daily and its current resistance around 43,200. I'll share my screen here for you. There we go.
Can you see something on BTC, like from your perspective, that confirms Lucas signal on short? Shorting Bitcoin.
To enter a short, we've just confirmed this as support again here and had a really aggressive bounce. So if I would want to enter a short, either if it's going to be like short term, it'll be based on something that's already occurred. When this candle closed here, we got acceptance back into this value area structure from the value area high. You would target the point of control and as your first take profit, and it already had a strong bounce off it. It's like short term, it's already kind of happened. And you'd probably still be in this trade. The longer term, for a very strong drop, you'd want to see basically this uptrending support level on the daily act as resistance. So if we came down and price action came up and we met not only this level, but this level as resistance, and we create a new lower low as the confirmation, then I would enter a short and use the swing high as a stop loss suggestion. And I would watch the structural value area low at 41,400. That's a very strong level of support. If we have a drop and we lose the support level, I wouldn't be surprised if it was just a very aggressive drop to this, get a bounce and come up and then have it act as resistance and hopefully have like a confirmation structure that you can wait for the loss of support on for the short so you don't miss out, or have a really steep confirmation. That's what I'd be preparing for a short. And then the target, assuming we lose the structural value area low as support, is pretty far down there, unfortunately. It's like the first level I'll be watching for a strong level of support. It's around like 38,790. And that's the previous structural POC in this area over here. But yeah, after we lose 41,400, yeah, that's the next level. And then we watch the consolidative point at 37,900. And I believe the floor right now is the previous structural range. Historically, when we break past these kind of levels, like throughout the previous cycles, we retrace it after hitting the golden pocket, which is currently around like 31,800. So we'll see if we retest that. And the 0.358, I believe, is around 35,900. And we almost always hit that after hitting the golden pocket. We can see it's pretty weak. There's a lot of buyers coming in, but yeah, they're not doing much. That's Bitcoin for you. That's what I prepare for if we're looking for a short. Long, we need like an hourly close above 43,237. Then we'll be watching this liquidity zone at 43,900. We're currently building what looks like a bear flag right here. And that if that breaks its support level, upturning support, then our target is the bottom of the structure here. So we don't have we already had a good reset when we lost this consolidation structure's support level. and we retest it here. We'll just treat this as I guess it'll be a rising wedge. But that could be enough momentum to bring us out. So I'll just be watching this.
Yeah, makes sense, man. Thank you.
No problem, man. We got. Yeah, these are usually bearish, but we see them break to the upside all the time lately. So if we end up coming up and revisiting this uptrending resistance and we retest this level, we create the higher high, simultaneously breaking the uptrending resistance and getting confirmation off of this support level, resistance level, flipping as support, then yeah, we'd be watching 43.9 as our first target. If we break past that, which I don't think we will off the first retest, but if we do break past it, Bitcoin likes to surprise us. 44.9 is a really strong level, and 44.4, these two levels here. That's the neckline resistance from the previous drop. And if we zoom out, this is the Valley area high for all this consolidative structure here. And it will definitely act as resistance when we retest it. The easier trade is the short. But if you are someone who's a one-dimensional trader and only likes the long, then maybe the easier trade for you mentally is the long setup. But how's Energy
I
Web Token doing? We can look at that.
I take whatever I can get.
Yeah. I need to open up the YouTube feed so I can see any questions asked there. Let's go back. There we go. Like and share, family. Oh, thanks, man. Cool. Probably draw that a little better. Just slapped it on the screen. There we go. All right, and we want to look at, someone in the chat mentioned Energy Web Token. We can take a look at that. They need to branch out onto other exchanges. Because I was a holder of Energy Web Token and I had to force sell when I got booted out of KuCoin from KYC regulations. They didn't accept my country, so I had to leave. I think we have an Energy Web Token chart, so I don't need to start off fresh. Load. Oh, I just got a range chart. Let's see what we got. Hasn't been open in a while. Yeah, Energy Web Token's a really good range trading, range trade friendly kind of asset. Let's pull that off and let's get the fixed. We'll start from the start of this consolidation here on the hourly. And right now we just got reject off the point of control. We're heading right back down to the Valley area low. We have this downtrending momentum. I can watch. Was preparing for a great long setup.
We can only long it. I'm checking on my coin market cap and still don't see any futures.
Yeah, there's no futures. It's only a spot. And it's not on very many exchanges either. It's on KuCoin, Bittrex, CoinEx, Gate.io, Bitmart. So there's not many options for us, but I used to range trade this all the time on KuCoin. It's a very easy asset to learn how to range trade too on. So if you're a beginner, it's a good place to go. It holds ranges for a long period of time. Like if you look at, now it's just back in this box zone again. And this little consolidative range was about 60 days. And this range that we're in right now, 70 days. It likes to stick in its ranges for a while. But you tend to want to set your alarms from when we revisit the valley area low, so you're not waiting because it does. These are daily candles here, so it'll take a while after it goes back up for you to get your next long position. Because it's only spot, you only can do longs, so you get half the opportunities to trade with it. The only thing that's scary about this range is how this behavior is. It's a lot like a double top. So if it doesn't break this downtrending momentum, then it's likely going to come back down to this area here around the $1.56 when it had this inverse head and shoulders structure here. But I would just put a horizontal line here. So if it drops, prepare for potential reversal structure. And if we go to the hourly again, what I would want to wait for based on the current price action, we might be able to get a better entry. If it gets squeezed a little further down, you can wait for the break of its resistance. But yeah, right now what we have, I'll be marking. Well, this is what I recommend anyone to do if you're trying to trade a range like this, is you take the most recent high and you mark it. So that's what you want to wait for a candle close to be above with the time frame that you're trading in order for you to get your entry. I believe that there's going to be a better opportunity, but if we don't get the better opportunity and we end up reversing here and then we break, the good thing about that kind of situation is you can give it the extra, like, 2 cents for it to close above the point control and confluence of the break of structure, a change character, sorry. And then you can get yourself a good entry where the chances of it hitting your stop loss gets reduced because that point control acts as a barrier towards your stop loss. And then you put your initial stop loss wherever the most recent swing low is. And if the swing low doesn't give you a good risk to reward ratio to the value area high, then you don't take it. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to know when not to trade. But based on the gap, negative space between where the current entry would be and where you're most likely going to get your swing low, you can tell it's going to be like a 1 to 3 or better. So you're longing around here. If we reversed here, your stop loss would be around here, and your target would be here. So it's 1 to 2.8, but it's a 3% drop. So you would put if you're trying to be a responsible trader and you're trying to risk to lose the same amount every trade, a 3.66% loss, you're going to end up putting a lot less funds than you normally would into the trade with no leverage. But you can't use leverage anyway, so it's fine. Unless you're boring. What's up, John? How you doing, man? Bitmart has EWT. Yeah, I'm not sure how safe Bitmart is, but I know it's been around for a while. It's been around since I've started, but yeah, whatever the swing low is, you get that entry. If you get a different high, then you aim for that for your entry. But that's the current setup right now. Any questions about this before we look into something else? It's still got another hour and a half to burn here, guys. So any questions? Sui and H bar looking interesting. H bar always looks interesting. But yeah, Sui's been doing crazy moves. So we can take a look at that too.
Yeah, it went
There's
down,
no
I
other
think.
questions on Energy Web Token. We're good here. Well, it's only been doing up, so it would make sense for it to go down once in a while. It needs to cool down a bit.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll move this chart over here. This is the hourly, so based on the momentum, and if we do get the reversal now, it's still going to take about 10 or so hours before it confirms. And if we don't, we end up meeting this as resistance and we come back down further, then you can add another day or two onto that setup. But when it breaks, you don't have very much time. It just goes. So it's a very fast moving asset. All right, let's move this over here and let's take a look at Sui and H bar for Mario in the chat here. Looking for my primary chart. Oh, we have Sui open here. Yesterday we were looking at this setup, but we missed it. We caught the Tron short instead. It's just been going down, step laddering down after we got the target hit here. And yeah, we're at a point where it should reverse going down that heavy. We're now retesting previous support off of this pennant structure before it broke. And it's also, yeah, structural valley area low. So if you pull the fixed from here, so we can get the valley area behavior. Yeah, we're right at it. We're right at it. I know it looks bearish in the way it's going down, but we should be looking at long opportunities here. So let's mark the point of control. Is when we get in an old value area, we tend to respect the rules of the previous value area. Let's get the dotted line here. Value area high. All right, so now we know our range and how it's likely going to behave. The price action, tends to be attracted to the point of control like a magnet. And then we can, if we break past this, which is our first primary barrier for the long, our next target would be the value area high. So if we see a bearish reaction to this, you can get a warning to get out. If we see, consolidation similar to this, and it breaks to the upside, then you can stay in. This is a 15-minute chart. So yeah, based on the current structure, unless we get a rejection here off this previous support to act as resistance, I'm hoping for the rejection here. So we have a potential double bottom structure being formed if we respect this as support still. And then when we break the momentum, we just look for the change of character off that neckline break with the candle close above it. But if we instead just pump from here, because we just got back to the strong area, this demand zone, this strong area of interest, and we just go straight up, then I'll just wait until a candle closes above. Well, it's basically already marked. Not just the point of control being broken, but we'd also get the change of character when we get a candle close above this too. So that's when I would put my entry in and stop loss below the swing low here. And then we'll see if the risk reward ratio is worth that kind of risk. We got a long round here, stop loss here. No, so you're gonna have to hope for a newly formed rejection, swing low creation, like a new higher low, and then you can use that your stop loss. Then the risk reward ratio will be worth it. But right now it's not. If we got that kind of behavior, so I'm hoping for that break to the down like rejection here, and create that double bottom structure so we can get way better risk reward ratio. If you want to monitor this trade, every time you create a new swing low, you update your stop loss accordingly. And you could probably trail this. Maybe if we get back out of this valley area quickly, then you might be able to capture more gains that way. But I'll be reactional to any double tops near the valley area high and just completely get out. So any other questions about SUI? What's up, Alex? How you doing, man? This was fairly textbook. Like I'd love to trade something like this. What's the drawdown fear? 2%, not bad. We look at more macro. I think we're at all-time highs, right? Yeah. The daily candle looks terrible, but it could easily just bounce here. 4 hours left on it. But if this doesn't break or play out, then we'll see it in the daily chart too. So cool, straightforward. Cool. All right, let's look at H bar. H bar is the next request. Look at through here. We got. I think I got an H bar chart here. I remember having a giant green box here. Yeah. This is what I'm wanting to play out. I haven't bought, I used to own H bar back here. I wrote it until I think around like this rejection. I'm hoping to be able to rebuy some off of this break of this resistance, which is playing off as a giant double bottom. And you know, when you see these double bottoms within double bottoms, it gets even more bullish, more momentum. But it's like struggling right here, right now. These entries could potentially get you an early entry when you're trying to anticipate the break of the resistance, but you still got to respect this is resistance and it may not break past it. So you got to be reactional to it. And if it doesn't break past it, then it's going to be a short-lived trade. But I'm thinking that we're consolidating to build basically the confirmation formation for the bigger move. It's right now it's pretty ugly. So I'd watch this uptrending support on H bar. If we lose that, we're likely going to go down much further. And watch this neckline resistance for this double bottom here. Is there a move to trade off of right at this moment? Not really. Maybe watch for the swing failure pattern around. It's the opposite of what we saw with like Sui. We're just having this uptrending momentum. You'd prepare for a potential short at this resistance here. So if we lose, we get rejected here, and then we right now, based on the current structure, let's go to lower time frames. This is the swing low that you're gonna be watching for a candle to close below before entering a short. At least the way I trade. There's some people that can catch the exact tops using Fibonacci, but I like to wait for the structural confirmation before taking action. It will reduce your opportunities, but it'll give you safer trades. So yeah, guys, so I would prefer it to, go up a little further before getting rejected. If we get up here and we get the rejection and we create a break of structure, like a candle close, similar to what we're seeing here right now. This is the low that we're watching right now, but we might have a new one. And say we create a new high, we came down, retested this as support. That would be the level that you'd watch for a break below. And sorry about the mess. Probably draw this a little bit better with the arrow signs, but
Yeah, just the artistic expression.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Something like this, basically. And then you'd enter when we have that break around here. It's currently bullish, but you want to, if you haven't got in already on like this double bottom break, for example, then you shouldn't be looking for a long right now. You should be looking for a short. Now, if you are a breakout trader, what you could wait for is a break of, this resistance here. If we don't lose this level here, and we just reclaim this previous resistance as support, then we can ride it to the next area that we'd be cautious about, which is like 839, and then so on and so forth. I would love to be able to do the long opportunity because you can get potential early entry for a larger double bottom. This bigger double bottom here. If that neckline breaks, then we're going like back up here again around 933. And if we end up creating a higher high, then it just will be a cascading effect for this larger double bottom. But we can't count on that happening. Right now, the market's looking pretty bearish. So hopefully H bar can have its own relative strength to do something like that. But I'll be looking for the more bearish scenarios, especially since Bitcoin is building a rising wedge right now, which is typically bearish. If the bearish plays out with Bitcoin, then the influence is likely going to drag it down. So you can use that correlation to kind of help you see the future of what's likely going to happen with H bar. But you can see that there's a lot of friction in the market with this, like wicks everywhere.
Yeah, what's wrong with the chart? It looks not normal, you know? Like...
it gives me like vibes that you'd see from something that has a tax and distributes rewards, and it creates this friction in the market. Then you'll see it on like something like SafeMoon or Shiba Inu because it's constantly casting rewards from transactions, and it creates that kind of friction in the market. But I don't think H bar does that. I don't think H bar is an asset that casts like tax rewards or anything like that. So I'm not sure why it's behaving like this. It could be just be poor liquidity on the exchange that we're looking at. Like we're on Binance, and Binance has had some poor liquidity with a lot of their assets lately. So maybe something to do with that. But it does look like something that distributes rewards based on the candlesticks. Or they have a really unique algorithmic market maker, which I highly doubt would be that involved. Render. Yeah, we can look at render. We requested that. It was question. All right, cool. Any other questions about H bar? So it's looking more bearish. Basically, I prepare for the short over the long. But if you are more experienced and you know how to identify a confirmation like of this acting as support, and you use that swing low as your stop loss, and then you can target the next level of resistance. You'd have to be babysitting the long a lot more than the short, but it's a pretty good play either way. And render. Okay, we have a render chart, so I'm just gonna pull that one up. Add it to my million tabs. I got two render charts. I hate when I do this. I gotta find.
Yeah. Who needs free RAM?
Okay. I haven't been chart in a while. It's giving me the same kind of vibes as H bar actually. This long opportunity just happened. And we broke this downtrending resistance of this is the previous value area high and the previous POC. We're at the target already, like the one area that of concern at least, where this liquidity is. So I'll be prepared to be reactional to any bear structures you got. Let's go to these 15-minute. So yeah, we created a transparent swing low here. So if you're in on a trade and that's why you are asking me to look at it, I'd move your stop loss here. Hopefully it's in the profit zone. And I'll draw a trend line from this swing low here to this newly formed swing low to track this as momentum. put a and right now I'm just looking for points of interest. So we got support here, resistance here, resistance, support, support. So now we know that it's an area of interest. We want to see price action close back above it. If we fail here, then this is the most, it's likelihood area of failure, basically, is what I'm trying to say. We had a rejection here, created a doji, which is indecision. So we don't know yet if this is the end kind of thing. We could dissect it. Yeah, it might be trying to form around a top, but if you're in a long, you want this to be claimed, basically. And if we end up building support up here, then it won't really matter if you lost momentum. Then you can just put your stop loss above that newly created support and monitor the consolidation as a structure. If it's a double top, breaks the downside, get out. If it's a continuation pattern, then you're able to stay in it and hold the trade longer. And then the next area of concern would be the $4.08 right here. But if we were on this call just a few hours earlier, we'd be in this one together, I'm pretty sure. We'd jump in on. So we had a pullback here, and then we create a higher high here. The only thing that would make me a little bit hesitant is the fact that there's resistance here. So we'd have to watch this in the order books and see if there's any sell walls. If there isn't one, then we'd probably be entering this after this candle right here. And jump in, have a little bit of drawback, but we off the races after that. All right, cool. Any other questions about render before we move on to the next request? I've got another hour and 10 minutes, roughly. Get some in the chat here. All right, so we got a request to look at Solana. We got a request to look at Near and Chainlink. Dadir says he's in a short on Chainlink, so I'll look at that one first, just in case. There's any concerns with that? Chainlink, yeah. Oh, cool. Okay. So I'm hoping you got in reaction to, man, I was looking for this setup for a while, looking at this just watching this uptrending momentum. I'm thinking you got in, maybe you got in during this. I'm gonna reject it. It came down. Some people will enter as a breakout, but I wouldn't really recommend doing it if you're doing it as a swing pillar pattern. You want to see that change character or that continuation. So the thing I would monitor with this trade is just this downtrending resistance. If it breaks, then you know your trade's likely to go against you. We had a bounce off of 1470.03. Okay, it's just a strong area of interest. You have a micro valley right below it, though. If this breaks, it'll drop pretty quick to the point of control, well, the previous point of control. You can update this chart a bit. It's been a while since I delete that. Get rid of the average true range. Get rid of our most recent trade on that. I don't need it anymore. Yeah, so what you're going to want to have here is basically a candle close below 1491 for your short man. If we get that close, not only will we be getting acceptance back into the lower side of the valley area past this point of control, but we'll also have the market structure continuation, and you can move your stop loss here at 1511 as your new guard. And you would have the structure guarding your stop loss, the downtrending momentum guarding it, and the point of control. And if you have like 3 guards or more with the trade, then you're set. The likelihood of getting stopped out is dramatically reduced. Um, where's your entry with the Chainlink? If you don't mind sharing, we see the reasoning behind it together as a group. All right, silent. Yeah, this is one of those things that if you didn't jump in already, you shouldn't be jumping in. You might be able to get the long if this breaks, but you preferably want to be doing longs on Chainlink near the bottom of its value area. Not right at its point control. You risk being caught in a range for a while if you're doing it right at the point control. All right, I'm gonna move on. Any other questions about Link? You guys are quiet today. All right, cool. Let's look at something else. We can look at.
I can sing something, but I don't know if you want it.
I don't know. We're live. You want to say it? It's up to you.
No.
Okay.
No. I'm gonna spare it.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm quiet. I'm just working and listening.
I know, man. I hear you. It's all good. All right. So that's Link. Congrats on your short. You should be doing good, so long as you didn't get caught in this crazy wick. Um, yeah, a late entry would be here. Stop loss above here. And you could have it adapt to here now. Unless you caught
Yeah.
right at the top of this value area high here after a loss of its evolving momentum. But that'd be pretty risky knowing that it's going to continue to go down.
Yeah, I'm not shorting Link. I'm just, selling my spot and rebuying.
Yeah, I haven't really traded Link since this here. Like,
Yeah,
that
I
was just
remember that
so
one.
yeah, that was a good trade we did as a group.
Yeah, that was mine. Nice.
Break of downtrending momentum, acceptance into the valley area, a break of this downtrending resistance was the confirmation formation, get the higher high, and then we just like bolted it right towards our target at the point of control. And then the last warning was the head and shoulders behavior, the loss of momentum here for anyone who didn't get out. There's a lot. I like Chainlink because it gives you tons of warnings to leave your trade. I forgot I could actually be on the Zoom call. Yeah, you can jump in. There's like I posted it in 3 different communities. We got Alex Crypto, we got Max Mayer's Panova Group, and we got our own investor share. So you just click on the link there and you can jump in if you want. Entry at 1513. Okay. All right, cool. We can check that out. We can draw a horizontal line. We're gonna make it purple just so we know it's pretty unique. And 15.13 is your entry. All right, so you're doing good. You're currently above the active resistance. So you should have warning to get out when this downtrending resistance breaks. The only downside is like even though this is looking bearish after breaking this uptrending momentum, which is a good call, is that we're building a bullish formation. It's descending falling wedge here. They're 65% likely to break to the upside. And this one, what ifs to break to the upside, it would do it above the point of control, like would break out here within this area. If we get below this point of control, the chance of it breaking to the upside again is going to be dramatically reduced unless it gets caught in this tight range. And if we breaks to the upside here, then we're just going to be looking at the point of control as a really strong barrier. So based on this behavior, might be babysitting it a little bit, man. It's just kind of annoying, but thanks for the invite. No problem. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Next request is Adam.
Or
Oh, we looked at Solana, didn't we? Oh, okay, we can look at Solana first. Solana, we were looking at this downtrend momentum. Solana's getting squeezed for a decent move soon. Let's see, we got get rid of this. We don't need this anymore. That was yesterday. Took the Tron trade instead. It's an apex point within an apex point. So at least we know if it breaks to the upside or the downside, we know we have barriers to be concerned about that could prevent it from going any further. The negative space that we have between the support level, I think it's more likely to break to the downside with the point control right on our top here. Let's update this value area. I'm not gonna do much, but yeah, it didn't do anything. All right, so we're on the 15-minute. You got inverse head and shoulders behavior here after retesting support. This is, yeah, I don't know if this will be a trade I go in on, but we could have a short-lived pump. This is the, we want to have a candle close around here above this before entering a long. And we got to watch the point control and the downtrending resistance as our barriers for this. This would be more of a hopium trade, and that's not the kind of trades I like to do because the risk to reward ratio isn't there. So you'd want to, when I say hopium, you want to hope that you're getting in early for a break of this downtrending resistance. So then your risk to reward ratio would improve if this broke because you'd have this as your next barrier around $100. So what I would do if you were thinking about entering this, if you are skilled at looking at the order books, I would see if there's a sell wall prepared for this area. And if there isn't a sell wall prepared for this area, then I'll be more likely to enter it. Because if there's a sell wall here, then that means the market maker is trying to keep everyone within this structure. And if the market maker doesn't want you out, then we're not going to get out. So just maybe I'll pass on this opportunity and look for something safer. As your goal as a trader, if you're someone who wants to do this as a living, you want to go through your list of your 10 to 20 favorite assets that you want to trade, and you pick the trade setup that has the least amount of barriers and the best risk reward ratio and with the least amount of percentage drawdown for your stop loss. You don't want to combat and fight for your money. If it requires like a large amount of extra work to try to get gains with a the R&R setup of only like a 1.5, you're going to set yourself up for failure long term. So just I'd pass on this one and look for something more safe. Like the energy web token was set up. That one's pretty good. Just unfortunately, it's not on very many exchanges. And the SUI setup, that one's even better. And it looks like we did get that rejection. So now we can mark around here for our entry. But I wouldn't want to see it to download it further. So we know that this would actually be a change of character. Right now, it's still around here. Okay, what else we got? What did OP do? Okay. Any other questions about what was that asset we were looking at? Solana? Get a bit of a baby inverse head and shoulders too here. The measurable target is pretty good, but I don't think we're going to reach that. Yeah, that's the measurable target. It's at 100. All right, the next request is Atom or Quant. I will do both. Atom's got the infinite supply, Quant's got the fixed supply. Let's look at Quant first, because they usually have the less drawdown. Move this over here in case we enter on that. And Link just broke resistance.
Yeah, BTC is moving a little bit to the upside, hitting our stop loss.
You're in a short?
Yep. I followed Lucas' signal. It's about
Oh, okay. I gotta take a look at what his signal was. Was it off of like a change of character or he's looking to shorten the top value area basically? The value areas, yeah, they're great until their end, and then they move into the next value area. So if you're a value area trader, you're almost guaranteed to lose at least one trade. And when you lose that trade, it's telling you we're going to the next spot. Depends how good you are, of course. Okay. I need to find my primary chart. I'm just gonna load it up so I can. Yeah, we're on H bar with it. Okay. All right, let's look at Quant. It's QNT. Doing the Binance chart. It's a lot like H bar too. What? I don't know if I would have entered that, but it's pretty close to confirming. Well, it did confirm. It's just super like microscopic. 10 cents. Quant's got a 21 million supply, right? And so it already broke downtrending resistance. So I'd wait for, just because of the current behavior of it, all you gotta do is really wait for a candle close above here. And take the newly formed swing low as your stop loss. The R&R, like the immediate barrier in your face is like giving you a 1-to-1. See what kind of position we are on the daily. Still holding that momentum. So if you're a longer term trader and you're watching the daily chart for your momentum, then yeah, this is like your warning sign to get to close almost all your position when this is lost. When Bitcoin lost its momentum, I closed 50%. You got I'm curious. I just want to check something really quick. Okay. then we have this legacy support here. The legacy support, when it's broken, that's when you rethink holding that asset at all. I don't think Quant's going to hit that, but could revisit at any point. And let's go to the 4-hour. Let's watch the downtrending resistance from the 4-hour here. When that, you think of the downtrend resistance as your barrier for any short-term trades. So you always want to draw your macro before you go in on your short-term stuff, because your macro TA is going to tell you the limitations of your short-term trades. If you don't know your limitations, then you don't know how to measure your risk properly. And it can end up burning you. Let's go to the hourly now. So yeah, basically now we're just waiting for it to kind of close above this for a continuation. But the first barrier is right here, unfortunately, right in your face. And then the next one would be the top of the structure, which is the technical target for this structure here. And it could drag its feet. So it would hit the downtrending resistance in confluence with the target and then drop again. Is there any other questions about Quant? Tia looks like it might be about to ready to take off to the upside. I think I hear that every week with Tia. That's bizarre. All right, cool. King Kush is good. Did you enter any trade? We did not enter a trade yet, no. If we will. I'm not sure if we will. But the closest thing to a setup so far is SUI. It's got the best risk to reward ratio of all the ones that we looked at so far. And we have others that we know are likely to go to the upside, but it's not a really responsible trade with the risk management or this reward ratio. And then we have Energy Web Token, but I've got a feeling that this thing is gonna it's 10 hours minimum before I get a confirmation on Energy Web Token. And if we get the rejection, we go down further, and it's gonna add probably a day or two to the setup. But you can set your alarms for when a candle crosses this, so you can be prepared to look at the chart when it's actually appropriate, so you're not staring at the screen all day. And for those of you who don't know how to set up an alarm, basically just click on your trend line, and then you just click on add alert, and you can have it so that it triggers when a bar closes above it. So once per bar close, will tell you when an actual candle closes above it, so you're not getting an alert when a wick, just when it touches it, right? It depends on what kind of preparation you need, but yeah, once per bar close is probably all you need. So you're not staring at your screen all day waiting for your setup. If you're looking at this like a job and then you get paid per hour, you want to get paid the most you can for every hour you dedicate to it. Let's set up those alarms. Blur is at a level for a short, in my opinion. So we can look at Blur too. Atom is the next thing we gotta look at. And then someone mentioned something else, right? Tia. About ready for a break to the upside. Maybe we look at Tia first. Because it's pretty volatile. This chart over here. A break to the upside. Maybe move to upside maybe. We pull fixed range from this start of the structure to where we're currently at. Are we at all-time highs? Still? Yeah. Just one of those things that doesn't stop going up. I gotta do more research on TIA. All I know about it is that it's on the Cosmos network. So yeah, if this breaks to the upside after a retest of this uptrending momentum, I think it's going to likely just keep going sideways, low volume until we retest this close to the apex point. But yeah, if we break to the upside, we just want to watch this level here and the valley area high. If we break past this and we see it act as support, this little active support here, then you just got to focus on two things: the psychological levels, because we'll be in price discovery again, and the order books. If we see a giant sell wall in the order books, you want to undercut it, get out before them, or you see a psychological level in confluence with that, then you want to prepare to get out. And psychological levels are basically levels that have rounded numbers like $21, $22, like $22.50, because those are the levels that most people will have their limit order set up because they're just aiming for a target, not usually being aware of what's going on in the market, and they just want to get out at their profit target. Just think about retail and how they'll behave, and you'll see it in the order books how it'll reflect it. If we end up breaking to the downside instead, it'll happen most likely at the same time that a break to the upside would when we get close to this uptrending momentum. Then you want to watch for any point of consolidation and see what the levels of resistance or support were as your primary levels along the way down for potential reversals.
BP24 SBP.
Sorry, it's gonna be man. Any other questions about Celestia? This is a more of a, I'd say, higher risk kind of setup. You want to go for a continuation though. And you have no barriers with your target other than just psychological levels, then it's the downside is you're gonna have to put like alarms for those cell walls, undercut the cell walls with your alarms so you get alert when we're getting close to them, or those psychological levels, so you can be reactional to any loss of momentum or any reversal patterns. How do you handle risk management and leverage? So I don't choose my leverage, the asset does. So if I have, let's say, a setup, let's go to SUI for example. I want to enter along here, and my stop loss suggestion based on the market tells me I need to have a 2.52% loss. With your account, your goal is to lose the same amount of money with every single one of your trades so your wins can outweigh your losses. So if you have a, say, for example, $1,000 account, how I would do risk management with $1,000 account is I would risk to lose $10 to gain $20. And as you grow your account to 2,000, your risk would change to a loss of $20 to gain $40. So you want to position your stop loss suggestion is going to tell you how much you're allowed to put into the trade so you can lose that same amount of money consistently over and over and over again. I have a calculator for this that helps me know when I need to prepare to close the trade. It tells me like how much I need to put into the trade, and I prepare that before I enter the trade. I'll type it into the exchange how much I'm putting into the trade before it goes in, and you're not going to be perfect but you can be at least very, very close. Because all the way I trade, so I'll wait for a candle close for confirmation. So I don't know that this is going to be my exact entry, but I know it's going to be roughly around this area. And I will put in, I'll have my entry suggestion with my stop loss, well, sorry, with my long position tool, a little bit higher than where I'm anticipating where I'm going to try to enter. So I can prepare for like the worst case scenario on the drawdown in my entry amount. I hope that helps. But I do things in milestones. Some people compound. If you are, what I mean by milestones is like if you're trading with $100 count, you won't change your risk management until you reach $200. And then you won't change your risk management again until $300 and $400, $1,000 and $2,000. And that's when you adjust like how much you are preparing to lose in your trade with your stop loss suggestion. Any other questions about that? Like, risk management's really, really important. So I just want to like make sure that it's clear for you. If it's not clear for you, be honest. I have a video on YouTube about like a trading journal, and you can get it for free, and it'll help you calculate your stop loss and your risk management and stuff like that. And the video will literally teach you how to use the journal too. So if you're struggling with that, risk management's like the main piece that people need in order to be a trader full time. And the average trader can quit their job when they get their account to $15,000 and they have an emergency fund worth of like 6 months of your expenses. In case something goes wrong, you'll have 6 months to prepare or whatever. Okay. So for Tia, yeah, just to go back to Tia, sorry about that. It looks like it's preparing to go down. We have this loss of uptrending support. We're reaching the value area low, where the good thing about using value areas in combination with structure, like formations, is you can kind of like estimate how it's going to behave. And if you're a confirmation trader like myself, who waits for it to act as resistance before jumping into a trade, then you can use this information to say, okay, it's likely going to bounce off the value area low. Don't FOMO, don't FUD. If it does, we'll come back up and revisit this, and it gets the opportunity to act as resistance. And if it does act as resistance, then it validates your trend line the moment you get that lower low. And you can enter the moment you get that lower low, and you'd have your stop loss above that swing that I was just talking about. Now, if you're a breakout trader, your win rate will be reduced, but you'll get a ton more opportunities. All you have to do is wait for the candle to close. But unfortunately, that's gonna unless you have you're really, really good with your risk management, your win rate is gonna be much lower than someone who uses confirmations. Can you check Unfi? Of course I can. I love that asset. No, I don't. We can take a look at it. Let's see. For this trade setup, yeah, all I'd wait for, guys, is just that confirmation, and then you got yourself a short. Just you gotta be mindful of this daily uptrending momentum right here. If that breaks, and you got yourself an early entry for a giant drop, then kudos. That'd be a really good trade. And this is the momentum that I'd watch right here. Okay. What was the other suggestion? Unfi, right. I think I have an Unfi chart. So let's look at that. I've got another 40 minutes, guys, before our next call. Oh, that's awkward. Look at that. Oh, we were looking at this earlier today. Well, at least thesis was. We got confirmation formation off of a break of a macro resistance level. So it's preparing for a big move, and hopefully it's to the upside because that would just be a perfect setup. So what I'd let me get rid of some of this noise too. I'll keep that there. Keep that there. Don't need that.
Sui's breaking on 15-minute a little bit.
So he's breaking the 15. Oh, cool. Right on. Okay. We're almost there. We have we can put our stop loss rifle around here. I would still wait for that close above the POC. So we can get that change of character, right?
Can you give me the number on what was the POC? I cannot
Yeah,
see it.
we need a candle close above $1.2704.
Thank
You get a
you.
candle close. Yeah, full body candle close above this, then you're set. And you got your entry. 7 minutes before we need to look back. So we'll come back here in roughly around 7 minutes. Go back to Unify or Unfi, sorry. Unfi, fuck. Both sound the same now. So Unfi, yeah, we broke this rising wedge to the downside. We were watching that for a while. And now we just broke downtrending momentum, which warns people, the more skilled traders that are trading this as a swing trade, that they need to get out of their swing trade. Prepare to get out. This is this is a 40-day trade. But yeah, this behavior is looking a lot like a cup and handle. Ugly. But yeah, this is more of a longer term trade. But if you get a candle close above, currently based on the structure, 656.05, that's when I would prepare for a long, somewhere around here. It's pretty choppy right now, though. Yeah, see, I usually stay away from Unify because it just it's really choppy and
it does what it wants.
yeah,
Not
it doesn't really
listening to
respect
anybody.
you. Like I was
Yeah.
over here. Yeah, right over here. It would look so clean for a long position. I think it was like right around here. And all I was waiting for was a candle to close.
Yeah, there was a broadening wedge, I
Yeah,
believe.
it was like running wedge here. And all I was waiting for is a candle to close above this uptrending momentum. And at the time, the value area looked so perfect. That was likely going to come up here. But it still just decided to do its own fucking thing and went down instead. And then so we never got the trade. That's one thing I like about waiting for the confirmations is that it'll keep you away from the bad trades. And this would have been a really bad trade if you just entered during the breakout. Never got that confirmation. Created a double top instead and just started dropping. It does whatever the fuck it wants. So you definitely want to be a confirmation trade with Unify. And I heard that you can do pretty well with Fibonacci catches, but I haven't back tested or looked at anyone's results on it. But yeah, I don't like this asset. But this is what I prepare for if I were to trade it. It's a candle close above this area based on the current structure. But that could change. We could end up having like it ping pong here a little bit longer, and then you can have a new area that you can enter and off of. I'll add back with Kyle's identified confirmations. Okay. Or I took profit on and move my stop loss on Sui. You already entered a trade on Sui. When did you enter, man? Did you enter at the value area low?
And what about that previous red candle on the 15 minute? You see, that's basically also it. The lower one, Closer
This
to
one
the yeah, this one. Maybe he entered off of breakout, you know.
Maybe. Or he went in a lower time frame and entered off the double bottom breakout. But he said already adapted his stop loss, so or he's looking at evolving momentum. I'm trying to find an excuse. Like, or you enter the evolving momentum break, enter here after bouncing off the value area low. I
He said
probably
he was
wouldn't have done that.
125.
125. Oh man, you almost caught the bottom. So you just 125. Oh, maybe not the bottom, but you did good, man. The probability was up, but I like to wait for that confirmation. We got 3 minutes left on this. I'm long turn on it, but I like having some others' opinions here and there. See how it goes. Thanks, Kyle. All right, cool, man. All right, Jesse, so since you're already in on this, our target of entry is basically a break of this barrier. So if you're in a long, we got to watch this barrier. It's only 5-minute momentum, so it's not going to be perfect. All right, we're approaching resistance. King Kush is also suggesting blur. We'll look at blur after this. This is the fun part of trading, just sitting and waiting. We got a minute and a half on that. We can talk about our Tron trade that we did yesterday. Anyone who's still trying to learn.
Why don't you throw an alert on that level for Sui and then move around the charts and people get a chance maybe to see what it looks like when they get an alert fire off.
Sure, yeah. So I'm gonna do it when a candle closes above the point of control then. And session crossing once per bar close. And we want a 15-minute candle for our confirmation. So we need a 15-minute candle confirmation. So when you create an alert, you want to make sure that you're doing it on the time frame for the candle you want to have close above it. If you end up accidentally looking at the hourly while you're doing this, but you're waiting for a 15-minute confirmation, you might end up missing out on your actual entry. So you can write whatever message you want, and then you click on create. Oh, you have to go also with the notifications. I gotta get rid of that. I'll do show pop up for you guys. Play sound. Pick the most obnoxious sound you can to make sure you're going to your chart when it's appropriate. And then if you want to do SMS, you can. After that, you're done. This will probably scare the hell out of me, but I have my earphones on. And look how close that was to confirming. That's such a pain. Might draw down a bit. So every time a candle closes and it doesn't confirm, you know, like, okay, I just added another 15 minutes to my wait. I like to use a 15-minute chart for my confirmations because it has a large amount of participants. So when you get a confirmation on the 15-minute time frame, you know that there's a ton of traders looking at it the same time frame as you and entering the same time as you. So you tend to get a large amount of volatility backing your entry. If you're using the lower the time frames, though, the less participants you'll have to back that entry. And that's why they say the larger the time frame, the more reliable it is. I don't think I missed anything. So the only thing that we haven't done so far for requests is the blur setup. We're going to have to wait another 13 minutes on this setup, so we can look away. And the alarm should go off. Well, we can go over the Tron trade that we did yesterday. We were looking at
that was nasty.
really crazy. Yeah, we were preparing for the
Yeah.
short, which is good. But man, whatever drop. I was actually hoping that we would find support here, and validate, because it wasn't validated yet, this support level. Once we hit like 3 tests, then it's validated, but it just broke right through it. The reason why I wanted to validate,
for the wedge. I was hoping for
Yeah.
the wedge too, man.
because it would have been the confirmation, help be a confirmation formation to a much bigger move that could have brought to 1240. This was the technical target for the bigger move. Doesn't mean this happens a lot where it'll just stop people out too. Hunt for that liquidity before, going to the upside, and that's when, yeah, that's why I like waiting for these confirmation formations to break first before jumping in. So shit like this could happen. But yeah, we are looking at the upturning momentum. We hit the point of control as resistance. We lost the momentum, and then we just wanted to wait for the confirmation and create the lower low. And we got the lower low here, and we initially entered on that candle close right here. And the reason why my entry is a
Yeah.
little bit higher is because we also watched short-term momentum and it failed. So we added to our losing position without moving our stop loss. And then came down. We were kind of happy there, but didn't close below this. So we knew it wasn't likely going to continue. And then it finally broke. And when it broke, it broke. It just plummeted. And this was the momentum that we were following to help regulate our risk management.
There's a pretty clean head and shoulders there at the end of this. Would that ending price action invalidate that head and shoulders at the end of price action here on this chart?
On Tron's chart?
Yeah, like the current price action.
Oh, the current price action. Oh, invert. I got a double bottom here. It just broke resistance. This is the 5-minute. So we got the 15. Yeah, so we already got a close below the neckline. So a breakout trader would have already entered.
I was talking about a regular head and shoulders there, the big one.
I don't see it.
You don't see that head and shoulders right there? Like from 1
Am I blind?
a.m.
Oh, okay. You're talking about like this?
No,
No.
after the drop there, right there. Yeah, that's the shoulder.
Oh, okay. You're acting as if this is like the right shoulder
Yeah,
here.
yeah, and I'm just wondering if that most recent price action there invalidates that head and shoulders because it's come up above that shoulder. Is that how that would typically go?
No. So there's 2 things you gotta look at here. We just dropped, so the chance of it playing out as a bearish head and shoulders reversal pattern is very low, and we haven't. Yeah, it's not if we respected this left shoulder maybe as resistance, might get that continuation that you're talking about. Came up, hit this, then came down, broke the neckline here, then maybe. But I wouldn't look at this as a head and shoulders, man. I look at this as a potential reversal pattern. So we have a double bottom here, neckline here, double bottom here. And when we see a double bottoms within a larger double bottom, the likelihood of playing out is actually dramatically increased. Head and shoulders, you should look at them as look
reversal.
for them when we're just pumping. Yeah, just after a pump like this. They very rarely play out after a drop.
I see. Good to know.
Yeah, when you were saying current price action, I was thinking that you meant potentially an inverse head and shoulders, but we don't have that either. But first, yeah, first check to see if it'll respect the left shoulder that you're thinking here as resistance. See how it reacts. The broad momentum, evolving momentum, neckline resistance. And breakout trader already entered. Confirmation trader is waiting for this to be respected as support. And then they would enter on the new high, stop loss here. The breakout trader entered here, stop loss here. Yeah, the risk reward ratio isn't great, but if you wait for the confirmation, you'd have a risk reward ratio of roughly around 1 to 3 if it rejected now and came down and retested this.
Yeah, and if it,
Yeah.
the big double bottom plays out, then you are super happy that you waited
Oh
for the
yeah, you'd be super
confirmation.
happy. This would be a really good early entry for a massive move to the upside. You could see a confirmation behavior or something like this too, guys. It could happen like right at the resistance. So this is basically what you're looking for, something like that. Little swing low, create a higher high, put the stop loss below the swing low, and then you'd ride it. And you check the measurable target to see where you can anticipate profits being taken by other traders. So you can see right here, when we reached this, we had some turbulence. People took profits, and a lot of people must have like re-entered the market and drove it up a bit. So our measurable target for here, probably going to come in confluence with that resistance that we're just talking about. Yep. So expect turbulence there. If we lose the momentum and confluence with this resistance being hit, then that's your warning sign to get out. Or at least close half and have your stop loss at break even. We got another 20 minutes. Let's take a look at, where is it? Sui Doji indecision. There's our. We got two pretty good trade setups.
Yeah, that Tron can be.
Yeah, this Tron setup could be pretty good. Now, I like the recent behavior. It tells us that we could have the same kind of behavior for the upside. From here to here.
Are we at like somewhere near previous value area high?
Should
Or
be
the macro?
yeah, we're at where this is happening. It's a previous value area high for this structure here. This structure is about 72 days old, so it's significant. And if we pull horizontal ray off of that value area high, you tell it's trying to escape this value area to go to the next. It's
Lucas would not approve of longing the top of the value area.
oh, I know, but if it makes you money, then it makes you money. If your stop loss in place and you go with your risk management, it doesn't matter. Let's see. I bet a ton of people shorted here and just got destroyed. Acceptance back into the value area like that. They just didn't wait for the confirmation. Instead, we got a double bottom, right? If you're waiting for that confirmation, it doesn't get that lower low, then you know you shouldn't be entering that trade. Instead, we got a ascending double bottom. Where's Tron relative to its historical price action right now? Yeah. Yeah, definitely got to watch 1240. It's going to continue going up. A good sign of moving from one value area to the next is seeing the value area high act as support.
I hope Toronto keeps being friendly, you know.
Keep making us money. Yeah.
30 seconds left in that 15-minute candle. It looks like it's coming down from your confirmation line.
Which will be fine with me because if it comes down and revisits this like uptrending momentum, then we have a better guard for our stop loss when it breaks to the upside. Probably keep my stop loss same spot, but we know that we'll have to have a change of character before it hits our stop loss, so we can get an early warning to get out. Let it drag its feet until I have to get out. All right, Sui. Same kind of behaviors. It's Unified doing, chilling. Tia got the breakout. This is where you expect a potential reversal to come back to retest this. And then you get the lower low, and you got your entry. We probably have some time to look at Blur. Do it on this chart. Blur is BLUR. It's Uniswap. Okay. Oh, gross. Okay. Everyone looking at these brand new assets. Appreciate it. No problem, man. Yeah. These things can make you a lot of money or lose you a lot of money. You're showing on these things are just being created during the spark of a bull run. I can't give you a measurable target. So honestly, it's one of those things that you just ride until it loses momentum. Here's your most recent swing low. We got evolving momentum now here. And same thing, look at psychological levels, look at the order books. I bet 80 cents is could be a critical area. You just mark all your psychological levels and look at the order books, see where the sell walls are, then mark them on your map too. Why didn't that update? There we go. And mark all your swings, swing lows. Because when you get a candle close below them, you know it's likely going to drop to the next line of momentum here. The further it gets in negative space from the broad momentum, the more aggressive the drop is going to be to revisit it. That's what, yeah, it's a cool way to track sustainability of an asset's pump. More aggressive it is with this pump, more aggressive it's going to be with this drop. The KuCoin chart has more, it's better, in my opinion, more history. It has more history. Let's take a look at KuCoins. Oh, I've charted on KuCoin before. Okay. Yeah, you're right. It's much better to chart it here. Someone asked me to do T on it over here. I don't think I shorted it. Probably couldn't even have to do it at the time. Broad momentum. And we got 15. Just gonna mute you, man. Your mic's all messed up. Pretty wild difference in the price action, honestly. Take a look at Tron. All right. So far, saved ourselves from a bad trade. We get the maybe we'll bounce here or not. Maybe we'll bounce here and they create the higher high, but let's see. When it drops, man, you can't even, it teleports. It doesn't drop, it teleports. When it decides to drop, these candles were so aggressive. I'm not sure if you guys were watching it live when we get that roll over here, but this
Yeah, on the
candle was
first time that
insane.
my TP was not hit because I had all the 11-11, I believe. But then the second
Oh,
time,
okay. Yeah.
boom, it went down straight.
Yeah, are trying to look at the local previous support. We had a lot of demand here, and it just melted through it like it wasn't even there. And yep, this candle teleported down here. It was so fast. Then we started to slow down after that. But some people will look at this and beat themselves up, like, "Oh, I could have made all this extra money," but you made 2 times your risk. You keep compounding that. It won't matter what you missed out on. Okay, so it doesn't mean that this setup isn't going to happen, because if we look at like the 5-minute of the previous time, for example, you can get your confirmations off of previous resistance. Like we got this one here, swing low, create the higher high, easy stop loss there. Same thing could happen. You get a bounce, create the higher high, and then we can adjust our momentum to that swing, right? And Sui got a bit of a pullback off the point of control resistance. Just want to, same thing. You just want to have that higher high close here, and you got yourself a safe entry. And the good thing about this pullback, it sucks, yeah, we're waiting a little bit longer, but this pullback will act as a stronger guard for your stop loss. Your objective is to protect your capital.
Yeah.
Think about your losses, not your gains. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to flip my mindset about that, because most of the time I was thinking about the gains and yep,
Yeah, that's what makes
my
you do
account was
emotional
melting.
decisions. Yeah, that's where the emotional decisions come in when you're thinking about the gains, not the losses. You gotta, and those losses is just paying for gas to get to work. But the cool thing about this job is as you're like you get better and better as a trader, and you improve, you give yourself raises much faster than this typical, normal 9-to-5 job. Every winning trade's a raise. Or every milestone, if you're doing milestone like risk management, then every milestone you hit is a raise.
Yeah, I do it like a bit aggressive right now because I'm
Smaller account?
Yeah, nah, but it's like I started with like 2.5 grand, but my risk is like 5%. I know it's a lot, but
Oh, I see. Okay. So it
yeah,
just means
it's
like what's your
my
win
risk
rate?
is a bit
Or at
higher.
least-
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question, man. Right now I'm like about 3,300 area. So yeah, the last week was great because I said I had to try it, do it 100% your way. And it
my
works. Yeah.
Yeah. Makes you wait, but makes you picky too.
That's
the kind
true.
of stuff that you can tell your mom to buy, it's super safe.
Yeah, trying not to lose money. That's my focus. And the account is growing, so it's working.
Hoorah.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah. If you track your win rate, man, you'll be able to like calculate where you'll be at in X amount of trades. And you'll be able to calculate like how much you could allocate to a trade percentage wise. Like 5% for me is super aggressive. But if you're trying to grow fast, then you just want to make sure if you're using 5% that you have a win rate to support it. Because all it takes is like X amount of losses in a row to really like kick you down a bit. If you lose like 3 trades in a row and you're losing 15% of your account instead of like 3%, it can be rough. Like 2,500 account. Is that what you said you have, or is it 3,300 that you're currently
You're
at?
right now is 3,300.
Okay, so like with that account, I would risk to lose like $30 to gain 60 with each of my trades until I get 4 grand. And then I'll risk to lose $40 to gain 80. You're getting a good bounce on Sui.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That's just how I do it, man. I got
Yeah, I know,
Um,
I know.
if you're using 5%, you'd be it'd be quite a bit. You'd be losing. You're just gonna lose. I don't want to do the math right now in my head, but it'd be about $150 to gain 300, roughly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But
can see how that would be.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm using like half of my account. Like
Yeah, like the ones that
when I see
yeah, I see what you're saying.
there's a lot of reasoning behind the trade. I'm trying to take a higher risk a little bit. I know it's not supposed to be like that, but when there's a lot of confluence, then I use, let's say, my max
I gotcha.
position size, and then yeah. But I'm not
Yep.
trying to go above like 5% of my whole account. I don't do it anymore
Sweet.
because that's extremely risky, and when
Yeah,
when something goes wrong, then it's
I used to use the amount of confluences required to define my like the amount that I would enter into a trade. I stopped doing that pretty quick because like it's just the if you end up doing that, then you can have if that one trade becomes a loss, then it's going to outweigh a lot of your wins. Because having more confluences in a row is less likely to occur than to have like less, right? But it's just that if you stick to the same rules over and over and over again, and the confluences are always the same, then your edge with your risk management would be much better. Some things I also used to do this. I actually stopped doing this very, very recently, where like my risk to reward ratio would define like when I would add more to it. If it was like a 1 to 3, I would add more. And I stopped doing that because even though the measurable target is there, doesn't mean it's going to be hit. You can't, you know what I mean? You have to sometimes you have to react to the market until you get out sooner.
creating big.
Yeah.
That's
So just sticking to the same amount every time. Yeah, that's how you win long term.
Yeah. That's a good advice. Thanks, man.
Props, man. Well, I gotta get ready for the next call, guys. The
You're gonna
trade
be on the
hunting
mindset.
Yeah, the
Cool.
mindset call. Yeah, mindset
Okay.
trade study.
Great.
So I gotta
Yeah, so we have
get
few
ready to jump on
setups.
that. Yeah, we got a few setups for that call. Yeah, if they play out during it. Blur, bro. Yeah, still going. Just gotta lose that momentum. And Sui, we got so I'm just gonna review everything really quick for you guys in case you decide to take action on this by yourself. Sui, you just really want. It doesn't really matter if we lose this momentum or not. But what we need to have is a candle close above this before thinking about entering. And whatever formed swing low we have is going to be your stop loss. Right now, it will be here. If things played out within the next 30 to 45 minutes, you'd keep your stop loss here. You target 133.86, but you got to watch out for 130.82 and see how it behaves. If we lose whatever momentum we have at the time in confluence with hitting this resistance, and we got that change of character, then you want to close at least 50% and potentially move your stop loss below the most recent swing low in the profit zone. And for Tron, same kind of thing. We got a bit of a pullback here before we got our confirmation. When we came back down to retest it, those breakout traders are hating themselves right now, jumping in on that. That's why, waiting for that confirmation, safe bet. If we get that bounce here and we come up and get close here, then we'll have a decent spot for our stop loss. But this momentum is drawn very poorly. It doesn't really matter, honestly. Can't trade it yet. Yeah, it's no actionable steps. Yeah, can't take action on this yet. But if we get that confirmation, we get the higher high. See what the risk to reward ratio is based on the drawdown. If it's not a 1 to 2 or greater, then don't take it. But you got to watch 10.88.5 as your resistance along the way up. If we break past that, then you're going to be laughing because you're likely going to hit around 11 cents again. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Sui is the safest one. If you were to pick one out of all of them, Sui. So you'll have that point of control as your barrier for your stop loss as soon as we get close above it. Point of control, having that on your side of the trade it's awesome. All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. I'll see you guys in the next call. Thanks for jumping on. Please subscribe, like, share. I'm not used to saying that kind of stuff. I'm more of a trader than an entertainer. So I'm sorry if I'm boring, guys, but I just want to help. So if you guys, share, like, follow, all that fun stuff, help the algorithm, bring us to more people. I really appreciate it. You guys have an awesome day. And I'll see you in the next call.
Do it, guys. Do it, because we will find you if you don't.
We'll fight you. Yeah. Find where you live. We'll
Yep.
scrape your name off the algorithm and we'll find your email, and then we'll use that to track your IP address and get to your house. Sorry, that was a lot.
Yes, sir.
See you guys.
Have fun.